Hi, my name is Jay. I'm super pleased to introduce Allison Fuis to the Crowdsourcing Promising Practices community today. Allison is an incredible intermediate teacher from the Ottawa area here in Canada, and was nominated by a peer and mentor for both of us, Wendy Crocker, to share some thinking about Scribble maps today, which is a tool I'm really excited to learn a bit about, and especially because it has some cross-curricular applications. I asked Allison what she thinks teaching is like, and she said teaching is like surfing. No day is alike, no wave is alike, and all days it's a challenging, fun adventure with patience, balance, perseverance attached. So I'm going to say that we're appreciative that Allison's joined us, and usually we'll be able to take a peek, but Allison's webcam isn't working right now. So I'm going to hold up a picture of her, and maybe Allison can just say hi from her end.
Salut tout le monde. Thanks for tuning in.
And Allison, whenever you're ready, I'm going to get you to screen share at your end, and you can teach us about how this tool is useful for your students.
Absolutely. All right, everyone. Really excited to share this program. And I'd like to fact that Scribble Maps is a mapping program opportunity. I know that there are many different maps that exist for students to manipulate that extend into geography. However, I want you to think about this learning opportunity as an integrative opportunity into any of the subjects that you teach, in particular history and health, even language. So Scribble Maps is a Canadian company. They're based out of Windsor, Ontario, which is kind of neat because sometimes when we think of tech opportunities, they come from anywhere but Canada, although that's not to say there aren't many here. And they are a manipulative mapping opportunity for students to add in data, create directions, and even maybe create their own opportunities of a new country. And I say that kind of in the sense that creativity is an awesome part of the learning. So your Scribble Map opportunity of learning begins here by simply logging in. And from there, you get to create a map. I do admit that the Demo Pro version is quite spectacular. However, the free version offers you many opportunities, a word that I seem to be using a lot, for students to explore, create, and learn from. So if you're thinking about a way of bringing in mapping into your classroom, be it language, history, geography, or even health, one of the neatest things about this is that you yourself do not need to be an expert with mapping. You do not need to be a geographer when it comes to mapping. You simply need to express a sense of wonder about the world around us, be it local or global. Geo maps to actually manipulate our locations. And by simply dragging over, I'm going to zoom in. It works much like any other map features that we'll have seen by zooming in and zooming out. And I'm going to bring us to this opportunity of looking at where roughly I am located. And that is Ottawa. Now, right away, you look up here at our icon box, and there's a lot of different things. But the great thing about Scribble Maps is it's very clear and lets us know what it is we can do with our menu. And one of the great features that I like to do is scribbling on the map by just simply drawing a space. And right away, I can say that I'm zoning in on this area. And as a teacher or a co-learner of the learning environment, I can share this with students very quickly by going into the menu and looking at the opportunities that are present to me. One of them being saving map. I can create my own password. And for this, I'm going to just use your name, Jay, just so you know. Nice. And I'm going to say tuning up teachers and exploration of Ottawa. And now I've saved my map. Right away, I can see a bunch of different ways that this map can be shared. One of the features of the Pro version is being able to have a private map. in the education field where we don't have a lot of money for this, we have to be conscious of the fact that this is a publicly viewed map that is stored on their files and is accessible by anybody. However, it is still really neat because I can actually, I'm going to continue working. I'm going to go back up to my map. And if this is this area of concentration that I wish for my students to focus on, I could easily just go back into my menu. I can save this picture. It takes a few moments. Clear a little bit longer than normal. It must be running on a little bit slow tonight. I'm going to download it. And now here I have a picture that I can easily post to my Google Classroom or any site and tell my students, this is the area of concentration that I'd like you to look at, I'd like you to explore, and I'd like you to map or create a story based on this. So right away, I'm thinking I'm integrating geography by having them look at a region, because from here, by just simply posting this picture, if I ask them to go into the map, they would then start to zone in and magnify the area and begin to create their own storytelling opportunity. So in this sense, geography is integrated into almost anything. By just simply sharing that picture and saying, students, please explore, they can start to use Scribble maps, click into it, and create their own stories, including adding images through URL opportunities. Oh, that's not it. So they can go on to any single picture that they wish. So for example, we have a little bit of an affinity towards penguins. This is where we have to be mindful, though, of course, of, oh, not those penguins. We have to be mindful of digital citizenship opportunity here, because we need to remind them that taking a picture from the internet shouldn't be something that they do without crediting the source. But if I were to go to the images and upload a picture, let's use this guy here. And in case we forget how to, this is one of the things that I have found teachers have struggled with and some students. Make sure that they're mindful of the images to copyright. For this sake, we're going to do like this: copy image address, stick it in here so that we know that we have the correct one. Control C, back into my map, picture, and suddenly I have this icon pop up, and there's my penguin. So right away, students are thinking, well, why would there be a penguin in Ottawa? And they can begin to create their wonderful story about how a penguin traveled to Ottawa, where it voyaged, because we're going to zone back into our map and create a wonderful storytelling opportunity. So that's the connection between language and the opportunity to use Scribble maps, of integrating photos that may not belong in the right place, but can create some pretty awesome stories. The map, too, allows you to be able to search anything in the world. So, for example, Sydney, Australia. It will take me right to it. And often if I do a search within this program, I can add my own marker, which in this case is the penguin. It resorts back to the picture. Or I can go to this application, the marker tool, and look at a variety of different things that I could add according to the place in the world, or just our creative opportunities of looking at wanting to put a Canadian roadside for some reason in Sydney, Australia. Once I put my icon in there, I can create a title: Canada visits Australia, if I could spell, and learning about the world from the eyes of a Canadian. The cool thing about this too is we can add in a YouTube video, we can add in more pictures down below, we can even add links, and we can make directions. So without going into super detail, this is one of the features that I think is really is that students are trying to learn about directions and where they're going: left, right, up, down, north, south, east, west, etc. Scribble Maps has an awesome opportunity for you to learn about the directions, and has an incredible database of all of the different things you can do in terms of what the icons represent. So the value of Scribble Maps, in the sense that it has an incredible tutorial resource of how you can do different things, in and of itself is a teacher's dream. Going back to the maps, though, you can zone out of any place. I'm going to go back to Ottawa. You can quickly go back. You don't have to put a marker where you are. And you can zoom out. So as I think about this, this is one of the things that as you listen to this program itself is sort of a mapping dream, because of the fact that you have so many different application opportunities, be it the connection to language, be it directional opportunity for geography, be it storytelling by drawing your pictures on. You can quickly navigate through and change your icon opportunity, but maybe marking where something happened in history. Again, using the Scribble opportunity to make a line. You can corner off areas. You can do this into actually a math opportunity where you need to make a square that's 2 centimeters by 2 centimeters. But then you can actually create a legend that indicates what that line represents. In all honesty, this program opportunity is endless in terms of the creative outlets students may have, including the different styles of maps. Terrain for topography opportunity of learning. We've got road specific for directional opportunity. The hybrid mix, which is terrain, which was what I use quite a bit because it allows students to think about the physical features of the map. And you can also, one of the most important tools in terms of storytelling is creating a label tool where students can actually write in what this area represents. Of course, if you're like me and you make mistakes, you get this wonderful opportunity of completely erasing stuff and being able to go back. There is one of the great things about these maps is the ability, again, to turn it into a PDF, to save it as an image, but you can also print your maps. So I've actually just sent some in to be printed, student-created maps, so that they can see what they have created in terms of connection to the Sustainable Development Goals by the United Nations, and their plotting points of where certain areas need to be focused on in our local area in terms of environmental conservation. And then those will be distributed to key players in our community. So understanding how we can make a local global opportunity for action. But again, when we save our map, the opportunity to be able to export it to others and also have an edit link opportunity that it can be shared with others so that they can manipulate the map as well. So it's a collaborative learning opportunity. What I would recommend to any educator thinking about doing this is that you do not need to be the expert in this map. All you need to do is show a curious mindset towards integration of such an application into any of your lessons, and think about storytelling and narratives in a different angle, or think about the specific geography applications or the historical context of mapping and what it has to offer. The connection back to Ray Zahab and exploration is what kind of sparked my students to be able to use this to explore his journeys, again, that were kind of outlined on his website, from running all over the world and meeting people from all over the world, is what sent them back to the map, and they were able to navigate or to toggle back and forth between research opportunities and show his story in a different way than just movie telling, which is an incredible way of sharing a story. But being able to place things allows us to have a better context. Let your students explore this. Don't worry about being that expert. Explore together, learn together. It's a highly valuable resource for any classroom. I would admit, though, that it's probably a better opportunity for students in the higher years, so from grade 4 and up, but a great opportunity for any younger elementary teacher to show things on a map and to show some manipulative opportunities of a map that are not necessarily attached to any other platform yet. So I highly recommend the use of this in a creative fashion in any learning space for any subject.
Very cool. Thanks so much, Allison. I'm just thinking of some applications already and what I do in my classroom. And it's really neat that we have apps like this where we can take advantage of both that creativity, but that wonder piece too, and just make that learning exciting and engaging for our students. So thanks, Allison, for adding a perfect bite of PD to our community, and to our viewers out there. Thanks for learning with us. Keep those nominations coming in and help us make sharing contagious. Bye for now.